Hi, my name is Louise. I am a UK registered dietitian and I run the blog and social media pages called Dietitian's Life. So I'm here today to review a new nutrition software, especially for dietitians, called Nutrium. So this is a software that does everything you need, especially if you're a freelance dietitian. You can record your own notes in it electronically, you can schedule and make appointments, you can monitor and track the progress of your patient, you can make meal plans, you can analyse them, and it also is attached to an app which your client or patient can download and use that to monitor how they are getting on, look at your meal plans and keep in touch with you. So specifically for the UK, it uses the composition of food integrated dataset to analyse foods, and it uses the DRVs for UK set by the Scientific Committee Advisory on Nutrition. And for all of us in Europe, it is GDPR compliant. So I'm going to take you through step by step and review the software for you. Okay, so here is Nutrium's website. So Nutrium is a nutrition software designed for dietitians to work closely with their patients. So you can use it to schedule appointments, to record your notes, to make meal plans for your patients, to track the patient's follow-up, and the patients can also download the app that goes alongside the Nutrium app, and they can look at your recommendations, look at the meal plans and record their weight and get in contact with you. So let's go to the home page now. So this is the home page here, the professional home page. So you can see here I've added my picture and you can change your profile here. You can also put what clinic you're at and choose, so I'm choosing clinic there. You can see who your next appointment is and you can see all the future appointments you have scheduled in. So all these clients here I have just made up for the purpose of the demonstration today. So I'm going to take you through Joan Plum's appointment, which is about to start. So let's go for it. So here we are now in Joan's records. So you can see across the top here are different tabs and I'll take you through them one by one. So the first one, number 1, information, patient's information and habits. So appointment information, motivation and expectations for the follow-up. So you've got reason for appointment, expectations of your client and any other information. Now when you see these little pencil marks there, it means you can open it up and write in. So I'm going to put reason for appointment is weight loss. And then once you're done, you just press the tick and it saves it. Then you can add in personal and social history, such as bowel movements, and there's little drop down menus. So I'm going to put that, maybe she's got normal bowel movements, and then you can then annotate that and put opens her bowels every day. And press tick. You can add information about sleep quality, physical activity. Again, there's drop down menus there. Is she a smoker? Alcohol. Again, you can add a bit more about how much she drinks. Is she married? Her race. And then further down, if you want to, you can add about pregnancy history, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And if you do, you can add more detail there. Then you can add a bit more about their dietary history, habits and food preferences of the patient. For example, wake up time, usual bedtime. You can add favourite food or foods they dislike, but again, you don't have to add anything in there if you don't want to. Allergies or intolerances would be an important one. How much they drink. And if you've got any other relevant observations you want to log, then you can just press the little add button, add that in there. Any more info, and then you can just see that it would appear there, and then if you want to add something else another time you can do that again. So going up the right hand side now, if you want to add a food diary in, so type it in while your patient is there. You can register a food diary, You can add a meal, so start with breakfast, and then you would type in, then add all your other meals, whichever ones you want to choose from. There's a long list there. You press save, and that will then be added into there. So I've got two food diaries in there now. So if I open that one up that I did earlier, you can see I completed the meal, the food diary for the patient there. Then if you want to add anything about their eating behaviour, you can add that here. So I've just added in, often sits on the sofa for dinner. Then a bit more about their medical history. So if they've got any diseases you need to know about, which will you need to know for your consultation, any medication they're on, any personal history which is pertinent, any family history, and then any goals that they want to achieve. So I've put a weight goal in here. So in 6 months she's wanting to lose 2 stone, but you can add other goals as well. So it can be a generic kind of goal, sports and food routine, or it could be a more specific measured goal, and there's lots of things you can choose from in this list. Lots of different measurements, also blood measurements as well. So on here we could particularly pick out maybe total cholesterol. You might say she wants to aim for at least 5 milligrams per decilitre, and we'd set that goal. Oh, we've not put the deadline in, so we want to do that by maybe 6 months time, she says, which would be December. Let's pop that there, and then we've got another goal there. So to get total cholesterol to 5 by the 20th of December, and to lose 2 stones by the 22nd of December. Then if you want to attach any files to the report, then you can as well. So this meal plan here is what I've added earlier, but I'll show you that in a bit. So now we have moved on to the measurement and progress tabs. So here, if you have a lot of things to add all at once, you can press this little cross here. Then you can put the date in, then you can put weight, height, skin folds, any analytical data, cholesterol, blood pressure, and any body composition. You can do that all at once, and then you would register that. Or you can put them in one by one here. So all the anthropometric measurements are down the left hand side, so you can see them all there. Analytical data. Now if you want to configure this and put something else on there, then you can press this configure measurement types button, and it goes for your measurement preferences. So if you press the pencil button here, it shows all the ones we have up there. Now I'll take ankle breadth out, and maybe I will add in HbA1c, so that might be useful. So then you press update measurement types. We'll go back to our patient. Okay, and then we go back up and we can see that here the HbA1c has been added. Okay, so looking at individual measurements, we can look at weight to start with. So if you click on weight, so it's highlighted, then you get all the measurements that you've already added in. So we can add a new measurement in today, so we'll leave today's date. You can choose to put it in as stones, kilograms or pounds. Now I'm working in stones at the moment, but if I wanted to work in kilograms, you can come up here to this drop down box and go to configurations and preferences, and if you click through to there, you can change the settings to always come up as kilograms. So she's 13 stone 8 at the moment, so maybe she's lost a bit of weight and she's 13 stone 5 pounds now. So then you can see that the weight has gone down 2%, and you can see here's our original weight goal for her, so she's not quite there, but you can see the progress and her weight has been going down. So that's a nice good visual progress chart to look at, and you can do exactly the same thing. So for example, one of the other things we wanted to look at before our goal was our cholesterol, so we can click on cholesterol. Then we can add a new value, so maybe it was measured again, her cholesterol, and it now has come back to 5.5 because she's done some good work with her diet. So she's managed to get it down 1, which is excellent. And you can see it's nearly at her goal, and you can see on the progress charts it has come down. So this is a really useful page for tracking. So moving on to tab 3, planning. So now we're going to put all the information we need to plan a patient's meal plan. So first of all, the weight. Well, we know the current weight is 13.5 stones and her goal is 11.8. They do put a recommendation on here, but this must be to get to a good BMI. So it's a bit lower than what our goal was. Then percentage body fat. You can use different equations to choose from. And the predictive equation has said she has about 35% body fat, with a recommendation between 23 and 38%. And physical activity level, we said that she had a light physical activity. Her goal might be a moderate one, and they're using the physical activity levels there. So then the calculations, now this is great because all the calculations are done for you. Body mass index, so she is 33 kilograms per meter squared, and her goal would take her to 28 kilograms per meter squared. Now it works out the basal metabolic rate for you, and there is a list of equations that you can use. So quite often in the UK we might use the Henry equation. So using the Henry equation, the basal metabolic rate will be 1,529 calories. So then looking at daily energy expenditure, we've got the equation BMR times the PAL, which is what we'd use in the UK, and that would come to 2,100, and they recommend to lose weight she should be on 1,900 calories. Now this bit is good because it's telling us about the micronutrient distribution in the diet. So we've got proteins, carbs and fats, and it's saying what the recommended targets are, and then if you want to change the targets, you can. So for example, you want to give her a bit more protein, you can put that up to 30%, and then the carbohydrate goes down a little bit for 40%. So you know, you can move them all around, whatever you'd like to do. And then we've got fibre here, using the Scientific Advisory Committee on Nutrition's references, and we should be aiming for 30 grams of fibre a day. Okay, so that's all our planning done. Then we will move on to the meal plan. So now we're on the meal planning section. Okay, so down the left hand side is a meal plan that I've already entered, and down the right hand side it brings up the latest food diary that you added in at the beginning with the clients. So that's great if you want to use that as your basis. It's brought forward the latest eating behaviours that you added in. It looks at how much the meal plan, how many calories the meal plan comes to. It shows the macronutrient distribution of the meal plan you've made and the micronutrients in your meal plan. So that's really handy there. So when you're adding in a meal plan, this one says every day, but you can do them for specific days here. You can import a meal plan if you've got ones already. So if you want to take one from a patient that you've already made, or if you want to get a meal plan that's one of the standard meal plans here, or you might have added your own meal plan in. So you've got 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, 2,000, 2,200. Some more there, so you can add them in. So I added one of those meal plans in here. So just to show you how to add a meal in, so if you go to the bottom, add new meal. So I'm going to add a morning snack. Okay, so where is it? Oh, it's there. Okay, so you can press the little add, and I think she will have some walnuts. So what you want to do, go across here, look for the database. So in the UK we would use this one here, the McCanson-Widdowson Composition of Foods Integrated Data Set. That's what that stands for. Okay, there are lots of other data sets you can look at, but that's what I would tend to use. You can see walnuts, kernel only. It gives you the option of the portion size, so a 20-gram portion size, one of those. It's giving you your energy, fat, carbohydrate and protein. Yes please. And then that's been added in, and we can close that up again. So we've got walnuts there, and you can quickly change the quantity or edit it there. and that's been added in. So there's our meal plan. And the meal plan can be saved as well, and when I saved it previously it attached to the beginning page, and you can also print it out or create a PDF file for your patient, your client, to take away. So then moving on to recommendations tab, which is looking at exercise and other recommendations. So first of all, it's got physical activity. So if you want them to do more physical activity, you can include it here. So I've added 20 minutes of leisurely swimming, but there's all sorts of things you can add. So I think I might try and look up yoga. There we go. Yoga, 20 minutes, 3 times a week. Maybe she'll go once a week. And we'll add that in. So she's going swimming and she's going to do yoga. Then if you want to advise them to avoid any foods, then you can add that in here. There are templates you can choose from already. So I've just added not to drink more than 100 ml of milk at a time, because she said she got diarrhea when she drank lots of milk, and not to have any sugar in her coffee and tea. How much water you want them to drink. There's a list there. And then other recommendations. So I see these are kind of the aims to meeting our goals. So I've added eat slowly, small portions, drink water, reduce salt, cut out sugar from hot drinks, choose whole grain foods, and regular activity. But again, if you want some options, you can go onto the templates there and you could do your own, or you could import all those healthy lifestyle things there. But if you didn't want them, you can edit the ones out that you don't want. So I'm going to get rid of them and just keep my own goals. And press tick. Okay. So nearly the last section is the analysis. So this is analysing the meal plan that you put together for the patient. So it's saying that meal plan has got 1,800 calories in it. It's got 25% fat, and then it changes to grams, 61 grams, 41% carbohydrate, 18% protein, and 35 grams of fibre in it. It's showing that 48% of the meal plan is carbohydrates, 29 fat, and 21 protein. It shows the fat distribution, so this is quite good. So monounsaturated, polys, unsaturated. It's looking at carbohydrates. It looks at the energy distribution by meal. So it looks like lunch has got the most calories in it, followed by dinner. It's looking at the protein, where that is in the diet. So most protein is in lunch and then dinner. It's looking at how much water, how much physical activity, and then also micronutrients in your meal plan based on the RNI. And here you can see you can choose, and we're going to choose the SACN recommendations for the UK. So this is the RNI line here, and 100% you can see if your meal plan is meeting 100% of the RNI for micronutrients, so that's really handy as well. And a few more pie charts, food groups. You can see which food groups are biggest in the diet. So in this meal plan, soup, sauces and gravies seem to be the biggest. Dairy and egg products. Then you can look at foods by anything. It could be energy, or you could see what are your highest protein foods in your diet, and you can see it's meat and fish there in your dinner and lunch. And then looking at micronutrients per each meal. So breakfast, mostly carbohydrate, lunch has got a lot of carbs, and dinner we can see there. Okay. And then the last one is the deliverables and setting your appointment. Okay, so there is an app that goes alongside the nutrition software. You can get it on Android or iOS for Apple. You can add the patient's email in there and you can generate them a password, and then they can use the app linked up to these records. Now if you don't want to give them a password because they don't want you to know the password, then you can send them an access instruction to the patient's email, and that will give them a password. So you can print off the meal plan here, or you can send the meal plan, or you can send them a message which will appear on their app. You can reschedule another appointment with them. So we maybe will see them in a month's time on the 20th of July. We'll put her in here. Joan is going in for a clinic appointment. Yes, please. And there she is, all scheduled up for next time. And that will appear on her app as well. And with regards to the app, you can see the patient's preferences here with regards to the app. Do you want them to get messages from, or be able to send messages to you? You can say yes or no, enable or disable. Do you want them to have access to the mobile app? Yes. Do you want them to be able to record their weight in the app? And do you want them to confirm their appointments by the app? So that's really useful there as well. So that's the whole appointment done, and you've made a new appointment. So just quickly the bits down the side that we haven't looked at. So you've got messages, if you've got any messages that come from your patients on the apps. Now foods. So if you want to add any new foods in to appear when you're making meal plans, you can do that there. So you add in all the macro and micronutrients that you know about. And any supplements that they're taking that is not already in there, you can add those in as well. Then if you want to add recipes that you want to add into your meal plan, or you just want to do recipes for your clients, you can do that here as well, and it analyzes them. So I've already added one called lentil stew in there. So you can put how long it takes to make, you can put the ingredients in, the cooking methods, the portion sizes, and then it tells you again the macro and the micronutrients in that recipe, which is great. And it tells it you in a bit more detail there. And then you can print it off as well to give it to print recipe, duplicate recipe. So you can give it straight to them if you want, or when you're making the meal plan, you'll be able to pull up that recipe in the meal plan. So this is your templates. So I was talking about your meal plan templates. So if you want to create your own meal template in there, you can do that. And the foods to avoid templates and the recommendation templates. And then this activities schedule is for you, and it's quite useful because it tells you what you've been up to. So you can see how many appointments you've had, whether you've been meal planning. So that's really useful. It tells you about your patients that have downloaded the app and weight logs. So that's great. So in conclusion, I found the software very easy to use, very straightforward. I didn't read any instructions. I could just work it out to myself what to do. Each step is great, whether it's recording all the things and seeing the graphs of how your patient is doing, to using the food analysis, the meal plan section. Even within that meal plan section, you could put your food diary in of your patient, then analyze your patient's current diet in that section as well. I love the fact that it links with an app, so the patient can download it on their phone and they can look at the meal plan, they can track how they're doing themselves. You can send them messages to remind them to do things, and they can send you a message back. So if you want to see how it works for yourself, you can get a 14-day free trial. Just go to the Nutrium website and look for that. Thank you. Bye.